Hi everyone, welcome to Granny J Clay today. I am going to show you today how to make the button sheet of clay that I showed you the other day, although it's going to be a little different. The one that I made the other day, that I made the little girls' necklaces out of, and you can visit my other video to see that, was made with this embossing folder. And all I did was I took a sheet of clay and I laid it on the embossing page that I wanted. I picked one side and then I just pressed. So once I finished that, then I did get the impression of all the buttons that I wanted. And then I used Pearl X powder to color them. And then my tape to remove the excess Pearl X powder. Today I'm going to make something a little bit different, but first I wanted to show you something. And the reason I'm doing it differently today is because I really don't need another sheet of clay at this moment to work with that have buttons on them, but that may happen in the future. But I wanted to show you I made a sheet of turtles that I thought were so cute. Not quite done with them, but I thought I would show them to you anyway. They kind of look like they're on the way to the ocean, don't they? I have a cute little turtle stamp. I'll show you that here. This is my turtle stamp, and the turtle rubber stamp was glued to this side, but I always tear my rubber stamps off because I prefer to use them this way instead of on the block. I can just get a little bit better view of where to put the stamp, and I can press a little bit harder. So isn't that a cute little stamp? I think I got that one at Michael's, but you can also get them at Joann's, I think, and Hobby Lobby. So he's a cute little guy. Anyway, that's what I did. I stamped him into a sheet of Primo Pearl clay, and then I used my Pearl X powders, and I kind of made him green as far as the outline of him is concerned. And then I put some gold and some purple on him. And then I took just a stick like this, a rubber skewer stick, and I just decided I would make the clay around it look like sand. And I'm just deciding now what I'm going to do with them. I haven't quite decided yet, but I have an idea, and once I've got that done, I'll just show it to you too. But I thought maybe you'd like to see that today before we start our project. All right, I'm going to lay this down, and we'll come back to our project. Here is the sheet of clay that I've chosen for today is Souffle Royal. I love this purple color. It's just so vibrant and pretty. And I'm going to just make one button at a time. I have a friend, her name is Gypsy. She lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. And thank you, Gypsy. You said you liked, kind of like the necklace best that just showed one button. And I thought, you know what? Maybe others would like that too. And so what I'm going to do is make a few that would just have one button on them instead of a little bit of one button and a little bit of another button. Let's see if I'll grab one of these and show you what I'm talking about. Like my little girl necklaces from the other day. If you haven't watched that video, you could just pull that one up. So this is what I'm going to do today. I have chosen these three to try to do something with them, and we'll see which one I like the best. This one, the blue one, is about 1.5 inches. The pearl color one is about 1.25 inches, and this little blue, kind of blue colored, is about 1.25 inches as well. I think what I'm going to start out with is this pearl colored one, and all I do is I want to make sure I have enough room around the imprint of the button to make a necklace. And so what I did is I got out my Fat Daddy-O's circular cutters, which I have used forever and just love them because they're seamless, so they don't leave any seam on your clay when you cut. So I got the 2-inch one out, and I was holding this over the button to see if that would work, and it would give quite a bit of room around it. And then this one, let's see, this one is about 1.75 inches, and that would work as well, if you can see that. And so I might use this one or I might use that one, whatever I'm in the mood for. But let me see if we can just try. And remember, we have to think about leaving space around the button. And so what I'm going to do is, actually, I'm going to lay my clay on top of the button and I'm going to press. And so I'm going to do it just like this. And I didn't put any kind of a release on it. You don't have to press very hard to get the image. And you'll get the 4 little holes in the center of the button as well. And then flip it around, and there the button is, and it sticks. And there's the imprint, if you can see that. That's kind of pretty. Now what I'm going to do is take some Pearl Ex powder and brush it on and show you how to take the excess off with some tape. I've done that before, and let me just take this one out. Let's see. I think I am going to use the smaller of the two. Now the trick is, well no, I think I'm going to use the bigger one. Yeah. And that will give me a little bit more room to put my hole at the top. So I'm just going to press that. And then when I apply my Pearl Ex powder, it won't get all over the rest of my purple sheet. Let me just show you this. Looks like one big button, doesn't it? It's kind of cool. So let me put the Pearl Ex powder on now, and I'm going to use the Pearl White Pearl Ex powder, and I'll just apply a little bit at a time. I've got this big brush that I generally use to apply the Pearl Ex powder, but I also use this other one that's a little bit smaller. I use this one on the turtles because the turtles' lines were just so small. But let me just try to put this on, and I'm going to put it, I think I'll put it on a card, one of my cards, and it'll be one of my used cards. There we go. And now I'm just going to apply the Pearl Ex here. Oh, that's going to be pretty on the purple, isn't it? All right. Now as you do this, I'm trying just to stay on the button itself. We'll see how this one works. Sometimes things don't work the way we want them to work. Sometimes they do. So we'll see. And when you're done, you can add a little bit more Pearl Ex powder if you want to. But for now, okay, I think that's all I'm going to do for the moment. And I think I'll just hold it up so you can see what it looks like a little bit better. Pardon the dirty card. I reused them. So now I'm going to take my tape, and this is painter's tape, and I'm just going to do this. Just lay it over and press my finger on it, and that will lift up the excess tape. And you know, it just takes a little while to get it all off of the areas you don't want it on. And hopefully the Pearl Ex will stay in the recessed areas. And we'll see if this button is going to look nice for us, or if we're going to want a different button. You can, that's what's nice. You can just try different things out, you know, see how it works. And if it doesn't work very well, that's fine too. You can try something else. Sometimes I just kind of rub it to see. I see I've got almost a piece here that doesn't want to come up, and I'm not sure why. All right. I see that I'm kind of getting even some of the area up out of the recessed area, so we'll see if I can go back in and fill that in a little bit. And I think maybe if I was a little bit more careful, I could have done that in the first place. But I like to have some parts that are a little bit shaded. There, I'm picking that up a little bit. Do you see how it's kind of coming off? I want the indented area right there to have a silver or white Pearl Ex powder on it. All right. I don't know if you can tell. I'm going to hold this up. If you can tell, I think you can tell that I pull up a lot of the excess Pearl Ex powder, and I'm trying just to go in the area where I want to lift it, but this one is kind of a flat button, and so it's being kind of a persnickety for me. I'm going to go around the edges and see if I can pick up some. Now I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to take my smaller brush just to touch it up. See if I can do that a little bit. Sometimes I don't do this very well, but we'll see what today brings. And you just kind of come in and repaint it. That's what I did with the turtles. When I did the couple of colors for the turtles, I did that. All right. When you work with Pearl Ex powders, you have to just be a bit patient with them. They want to kind of fly everywhere and do their own thing. But if you have patience with them, they really, really give you a beautiful effect on your piece. So, I practice my patience, obviously, when I work with Pearl Ex. But I love to do it. I don't know, there's something soothing about working with it, and you're kind of just going in slow motion, and you don't have to hurry. Excuse me. Another thing I should tell you, it's good to wear a mask for that reason. Sometimes you can inhale these little particles, and that's not good. Okay, I'll get another piece here. You see how that's working out? And then what I would do is I would just punch a hole up here, and that would be the necklace. I'm going to make a couple more and see how we like those. This one isn't, I wouldn't say this is my favorite so far, but we'll see. We'll try another one. I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to try another one. So bear with me here. This one is somewhat similar. Excuse me. This one is somewhat similar. It's just bigger. This one is the 1.5" button. So let's see. Give it some room here. See what we get. And then I just turn it over. And this is quite similar. A little bit of a piece of tape there. This one's quite similar to the other one. It's just a little bit bigger. You know what I'm going to do with this one, I think, is use, I'm going to use the Aztec Gold on this one. We'll see what that looks like. I bet that's pretty. I'll clean my brush off a little bit, and we'll see what happens with this one. Oh, you know what? I forgot to cut it. Let me do that quickly. And use my cutter. That's the hard part, is trying to line that up. What I would do later on is put a backing sheet on each one of these pieces and texture the backing sheet before. I'm going to use one of my blades to lift this up. Texture the backing sheet, the back of it, so that I would have a pretty back. I like to have pretty backs on all my pieces. Alright, so I'll put it there, if you can see that. Now let's see what happens. You know what, I might just come in with my smaller brush. On some things I'm very liberal with my Pearl Ex powder, but on something like this I'm a little bit more careful. You can still come in. Oh, that gold is gorgeous. I'll lift it up in just a second here. Maybe you can already see that, but oh, that's pretty. And you know, the one thing is the button holes make little dots, but they're raised. They don't go down in, and so they're not picking up much color. I might just come back and color them. I'm just going to take this one around here. All right, now I'm going to just take this over to my garbage can and dump the excess off a little bit. And let's see what we get with this one. I'll just take this like so and get the excess off. When I saw somebody using tape to do this, I thought, okay, who came up with that? That was pretty smart. I don't know who came up with that original idea, but it's very, very helpful. When I made my other button sheet from the embossing folder, it took me quite a while to get all of the excess off, even though I was trying to be very careful in putting it on. It took me a while because there were so many buttons obviously on the sheet. So we'll just kind of work it a little bit so we can get some of that off. I don't know. You know what? I'm sorry, Gypsy, but I'm thinking I like more buttons rather than just one. But she said that's just me, and you know, that's just so true. We all have our different tastes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just I think I like the idea of having several buttons. It just, for me, it just adds a little bit more. A little divot there. Okay. All right. All right. As you can see, it is, I'll hold it up, lacking some Pearl-Ex in the crevices. So I'm going to just add a little bit more here. See what that does. And when I did my button sheet and used several different Pearl-Ex powders, several different colors, that was kind of fun. Kind of fun to see what it was going to turn out like, and I liked the end effect. Okay. The more you brush Pearl-Ex powder, the shinier it seems to get. So when I put this Pearl-Ex on something, I tend to come back in and brush it once I've got it where it's supposed to be. Alright. I will probably, after the video, add a little bit more and maybe pull off a little bit extra I see that I'm getting on. And I wanted to just try, see if I can add some there, just a little bit of a shading, and come in and pull that up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work either. I'm not thinking I like that. You know, sometimes things just work for you. Some things don't sometimes. All right, there we go. Pull it off. And now what I'm going to have to do is come back in and pull off a little bit more, and then I'm flattening those little holes in the middle too, but maybe that's okay. I don't like that one. I don't know about you guys. I don't like it. I am not liking this. I'm not liking this at all. This is okay because it's got a little shading around the center holes. I think that's what I'm going to have to work on with this, is doing a little bit more of that. You know what? I just don't think this is my cup of tea. This one is not. But that's okay. I mean, I want to share whatever and what works and what doesn't work. I think what I'm going to do now is take my clay and re-wad it up and rerun it through my pasta machine, and I think I will use it for something else. So there we have it. There's two of them. And I consider those not something I would really give as a necklace. I don't really like those. Maybe, let me just see here, maybe if I came in and took that excess off, let's see what that does. Does that look more like a button? Maybe so. Maybe so. And this one too. This one will come right up against the edge. This one I don't like at all. I do not like this one at all. No. Absolutely no. Don't like it. Okay, I think for the rest of the day I am going to work on my turtles because I really like them, and I will show you how, maybe in a little bit show you how they turn out. I'll just put another little video up. So I know that wasn't probably the most helpful video today. So my encouragement to you is to get the embossing folder, take your sheet of clay, roll it out in your pasta machine at your thickest setting. On my Atlas 180 it is 0. And then lay the sheet in here. Of course it would be flat and it would cover the whole bottom part of it. And then press it in and then add your Pearl-Ex powders. All right, I'll be back later and hopefully this will go, the turtles will go better than the bigger buttons did. I really think just finding a different button would probably work better. These just look kind of silly, so we'll see what I can do with that, and I'll end my video for now. Thanks everybody for stopping by today. You have a good rest of the day and be blessed, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.